For months, we've been investigating Egypt's brutal crackdown under President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Sources tell us the government is stepping up its mission to silence anyone in defiance of the state. So we're headed to Cairo undercover with just our mobile phones to examine what many are calling one of the darkest periods in Egypt's history. Just landed in Cairo. The story that we're going to be covering here puts us at serious risk of being targeted by authorities, so we're going to be keeping a very low profile.
Hello, welcome back. Have a look here.
Welcome back. Don't remember the first time, do you? Today, an estimated 60,000 political prisoners are behind bars in Egypt. There have been reports of arbitrary detentions, mass trials, executions, and enforced disappearances. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Just a decade ago, Egypt erupted in mass celebration after Hosni Mubarak's 30-year dictatorship was overthrown at the height of the Arab Spring, a pro-democracy movement that swept the region. But in 2013, President el-Sisi quashed this democratic experiment through a full-on military coup. And one of the worst massacres in Egypt's history, killing more than 900 protesters.
وتشتمل هذه الخارطة على الآتي: تعطيل العمل بالدستور بشكل مؤقت.
World leaders back the former general, citing Egypt's role in Middle East security, and America leads the pack. The US gives Egypt around $1.3 billion in military aid every year, second only to Israel. And in 2019, Donald Trump went as far as calling el-Sisi his favorite dictator.
I know you appreciate everything that we've done.
On the campaign trail, Joe Biden tweeted that there would be no more blank checks for el-Sisi. Yet his new administration continues to stand by its military relationship with Egypt. Whilst on the ground, things are deteriorating.
احنا قصدي ما رحناش لسه على ميدان التحرير ولا حاجه زي
كده. اجمل فتره عشتها في حياتي السياسيه هي فتره 2011.
والله؟
يعني في الفتره دي الشعب ليه كلمه. هنا حكم بوليسي او حكم ديكتاتوري. هم دول بقى دول الامن بقى، دول الحراسه اللي واقفين دول.
شرطة موجودة.
ايجيبشن بوليس اللي على الشمال دول بيحرصوا ان مفيش حد يقف في الميدان يعني.
بس ليش؟
خايفين ان الشباب يتجمعوا ويعملوا ثوره تاني.
لهالدرجة خايفين؟
خايفين جدا، مرعوبين.
I'm rolling. Right.
Okay, that's Tahrir Square behind us. We're going to try and go and get closer to it.
Oh, who's coming? Someone's coming from behind.
Photo in square. Okay?
Can you tell me why we're not allowed to film here? What's the reason?
عشان الوضع بتاع البلد. الثورة.
For security?
Yes.
It's security problem.
Welcome to Egypt.
It was really crazy how the minute that we got there, we were just surrounded by people just for taking a selfie. That square to them represents the revolution, represents people fighting for their rights. And that is exactly what Sisi's current crackdown is all about, stopping that from happening again. While the regime often targets activists, journalists, and political opponents, their recent response to a rape case proves that even the apolitical aren't safe in Sisi's Egypt.
اشتعلت مواقع التواصل خلال الأيام القليلة الماضية بمزاعم جديدة حول عملية اغتصاب جماعي.
In 2014, an 18-year-old woman was gang-raped in a luxurious hotel called the Fairmont. But after reporting the case to police last year, things have taken a turn. Some of the suspects are politically well connected. One was recently released from prison and none have been formally charged. Meanwhile, witnesses for the victim have been smeared in state media and arrested by Egypt's secret police. We're heading to a secret location to meet somebody who can take us to the heart of the Fairmont case. every single person who's speaking out is currently being targeted by the government, so we have to keep this person completely anonymous. All the witnesses connected with the Fairmont case, they were all taken by authorities at around the same time. Can you describe what happened to each one of them?
It was mostly at around 4 in the morning. I got just a series of texts like, help, there's people at the door, someone's security guard seeing her literally being dragged away in black cars.
Did people realize what was happening at that point?
No one even suspected that it was the authorities.
Under what laws were they taken in?
The charges are debauchery, spreading homosexuality, conspiring with foreign agents, aka reporters, and people who want to tarnish Egypt's reputation.
So it's a crime to speak to me.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is any role that the government has played to stop people from coming forward?
Absolutely. Everyone knows that when you get to be too loud, you're not arrested. You just disappear.
Sources say the Fairmont case is part of the government's attempt to bury human rights issues gaining too much international attention. El-Sisi is a master of distraction, showering police with over-the-top parades and granting unprecedented power to the military under the guise of fighting insurgents in the desert. But his latest show of force is the biggest one yet, a $58 billion future city. We're on our way to the middle of the desert, to a location which is likely to be Egypt's brand new capital by 2030. Oh, there's like military here. Hi. Is there anything? Tell us if we can't film anything, because we do.
Yeah.
We're for our social media. We're going to take everything. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Here's the artificial wavy beach.
Amazing.
This crystal consists of 3 floors, and the third one is revolving.
Are you impressed?
No.
You're not impressed? No, this is nothing for a country that built the pyramids, right?
Yes.
We learned 30 countries, including the US, have reserved land in its future diplomatic district, and the military is bankrolling. They own 51% of the company now building the capital. But why would the military own a resort? I don't understand.
Okay, maybe it's gonna be aligned in the new capital.
This is the Egypt El-Sisi has designed for the world to see. It diverts attention from the fact that 1 in 3 Egyptians live in poverty, and when people from these communities are taken by the government, they often have nowhere to turn. We contacted dozens of families of those missing. Finally, we tracked down a woman willing to talk. Her husband was taken 2 years ago. We were given nothing but a map pin drop and told to wait there. I'm starting to feel a bit nervous now. Okay, we have arrived. We literally have no idea where we are. This is how paranoid everyone is, so we're just going to wait here until somebody comes and meets us and takes us to the next location. Can you take me back to the day that your husband was taken?
طبعا الشقة متبهدلة خالص. اللي حكى لي بقى ابن الكريم يعني اللي تحتينا على طول. قال لي ان هم يعني دخلوا كل الشقق وبعدين ان هم نازلين بزوجي يعني.
تعرفين هو وين موجود لو؟
مفيش أي حاجة خالص.
عندك أي فكرة ليش هم اختطفوا ولا ليش أقضوا؟
لا ما عنديش. هو ده اللي أنا مستغرباه يعني هو ما كانش ليه أي توجه سياسي خالص، اتفاق خالص، ما فيش أي أخبار انقطاع خالص ده.
And when you go to the authorities and you ask them, where is he, what do they say to you?
بروح بس أنا مش موجود عندنا، لا ما عندناش حد بالاسم ده. حياة يعني حياة بتبدأني وبعدين فجأة يعني بدون أي مقدمات اللي هو خلاص ما فيش حياة يعني.
Why are people afraid to speak even anonymously to us?
هم الأمن في مصر أو الحكومة هي خلت الناس عايشة طول الوقت في عدم أمان وعدم اطمئنان وعدم إن هو يعني الكلمة ممكن يتحاسب عليها. فطبيعي جدا يعني ما فيش حد يبقى عايز يعيش
I was afraid of being seen and exposing the victim, so we ended the interview. We've just finished the interview, and you really did get a sense that the whole community is watching. When we left, somebody approached us and said, "Are you okay? What are you doing here? We've seen you here twice." So you kind of understand why they're being so cautious. After documenting multiple human rights violations, we wanted to know why the US continues to prop up this regime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Washington Dulles.
Biden's vow to stop blank checks for Trump's favorite dictator signaled there could be change. Yet less than a month into his presidency, the White House approved a nearly $200 million weapons sale to Cairo. I'm now actually at the State Department on my way to a press briefing where we're going to try and get some answers about the US's relationship with Egypt.
On Egypt? Okay.
You've previously said that selling weapons to Egypt doesn't interfere with your commitment to human rights. Can you confirm that you will be freezing the $1.3 billion of funding that is given to Egypt in military aid every year?
We can pursue our interests and we can stick up for our values. It's precisely what we're going to do in Egypt. It's precisely what we're going to do in every other context.
Will you freeze
yes.
that going forward? Will you freeze the military aid going forward?
I don't have any announcement when it comes to when it comes to aid. As I said before, Egypt has been an important leader in promoting Middle East peace, but I don't have any announcements.
With no answers, we went to Congress. Representative Tom Milanowski, who co-chairs the Egypt Human Rights Caucus, backed the president in the election. How do you plan on ensuring that President Biden doesn't become another president who talks the talk on human rights, but when it comes to a client state, closes their eyes?
No country is fully consistent, just as no human being is fully consistent.
But no country is actively involved in other people's foreign policy as the United States.
No country is expected to do the right thing in the way that America is, because we also have a record of doing the right thing occasionally.
We also had the situation where the US also refused to call Sisi's military coup a military coup.
Yes.
So there are lots of
Yes, and yet you're having this
hypocrisy.
interview with an American member of Congress because you believe, I presume, that there is a contradiction. What I will do is argue our raw self-interest. I think the $1.3 billion in military aid that we give to Egypt is the single most wasteful part of America's foreign aid budget. The United States can decide at any given moment whether it wants to have this kind of arrangement with Egypt or not.
President Biden has until September to decide whether to sign off on the next scheduled $300 million of military aid to Egypt. Paying up could undermine his insistence that human rights come first.